Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today we're diving deep into a fascinating PLOS genetics paper, investigating the case of human nose shape and climate adaptation. It's a really exciting piece of research, isn't it?
Absolutely, I've been looking forward to this. So what's the core argument? Is it simply that nose shape is determined by climate?
Well, it's more nuanced than that. The researchers investigated whether climate adaptation drove the diversity in human nose shapes we see today. They didn't just assume a direct correlation. They used sophisticated statistical methods to test their hypothesis.
I see. So what methods did they employ?
Primarily, they used QST-FST comparisons. QST measures the genetic differentiation of a quantitative trait, like nose shape, across populations, while FST measures genetic differentiation at neutral markers. If QST is significantly higher than FST, it suggests selection, not just drift, is at play.
Right, that makes sense. But how did they account for the fact that you can't really do controlled experiments on humans?
That's a crucial point. They cleverly addressed this by using a sensitivity analysis. They estimated QST under the assumption that the heritability of the trait is the same within and between populations. Then, they checked how robust their results were to variations in that assumption.
And what were the results of this analysis?
They found that Nair's width and alar base width showed significantly higher QST than FST, suggesting selection. This wasn't true for all nose shape measurements, though.
So only some aspects of nose shape seem to be under selection?
Exactly. And importantly, their sensitivity analysis showed that these results held even if the initial assumption about heritability wasn't perfectly accurate.
Okay, so selection is involved. But did they prove climate was the selective pressure?
They investigated that by correlating nose shape with climate variables like temperature and humidity. They found a strong correlation between Nair's width and both temperature and absolute humidity, but not relative humidity.
So wider natures are associated with warmer, more humid climates?
Precisely. This aligns with the idea that nose shape helps condition inhaled air. Now, narrower noses might be better for cold, dry climates, while wider ones are more efficient in warm, humid ones.
But wasn't there a caveat? I recall something about the European population.
Yes. A very important point. When they removed the European population from their analysis, the correlation between Nair's width and climate became much weaker. This suggests the correlation might be driven, at least partly, by the European population's adaptation to colder climates.
So it's not a simple case of climate being the only factor?
Absolutely not. The paper also discusses other potential factors, such as sexual selection. Nose shape is sexually dimorphic, meaning males and females have different nose shapes on average. This dimorphism could be influenced by mate selection preferences, potentially reinforcing climate adaptation.
That's a really interesting point. It adds another layer of complexity. So what's the overall takeaway?
The study provides strong evidence that natural selection, likely driven by climate adaptation, played a role in shaping human nose diversity. However, it's not a simple story. Sexual selection and other factors likely contributed. More research is needed, especially with more diverse populations, to fully understand this complex evolutionary history.
Definitely. This research opens up many exciting avenues for future studies. Thanks for breaking this down for us.
My pleasure. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to Tech Bytes and News. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of human nose shape evolution. Have a great day, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.